I want to talk to you about something I believed for most of my life. We can do it later. It can wait until later. We have plenty of time later. And then cancer kicked the door in. Not the kind to catch early and move on from, but Gleason 9, advanced. The kind that sits you down in a quiet room and asks you to explain all the things you were saving for later. And lately I've been asking myself a different question. What am I still waiting for? Sue and I had a plan. Work hard, raise a family, save, and eventually retire, travel, see the country, spend time in our RV. And like a lot of people, we assumed there would be time. And then cancer entered the picture. And suddenly, the future that had always felt almost guaranteed didn't feel so quite guaranteed at all. Now, I want to be honest with you and be careful here. I'm not saying we should stop planning. I'm still planning. Sue and I are still dreaming. But something has changed. I'm much less willing to sacrifice today for a someday that may or may not actually look anything like the picture I had in my head. And there's a part I keep thinking about over and over. How many of us are waiting for permission to live? How many times have you said that? Someday we'll take that trip. Someday we'll go see that place. Someday we'll buy the tickets. I've said it a lot. And sometimes there's a legitimate reason to wait. It could be money, it could be work, it could be responsibilities. I'm not suggesting we just throw common sense out the window, but I've started to question how often someday is really just another word for not now. Because eventually you run out of not nows. There are still places that I want to see, things that Sue and I want to experience together. And I'm realizing I don't have to wait for retirement to start living some of that life. Maybe the trips are shorter. Maybe the plans change. Maybe we take a different road. But that's okay. Because the adventure doesn't have to look exactly like the original plan to still be an adventure. This one may be even more important. There are conversations we put off, people we mean to call, family members we love, but somehow months go by without telling them how much we love them. When life gets difficult, you find out pretty quickly what matters. And it's rarely the stuff we spend most of our time worrying about. It's people. That's part of what inspired Pay Hope Forward Friday. Every week, a simple challenge, a text, a call, holding a door open for someone, just showing up. And when you complete it, just drop a yellow heart in the comment. That's it. The heart just means I did it. I paid hope forward. Because here's what I know now. Hope arrives through another person. And if that's true, maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't wait until somebody is sick or struggling or facing a crisis to tell them that they matter. Call them now. Thank them now. Tell them you love them now. Don't save those words for later. Cancer has a way of becoming the biggest thing in the room. Between appointments, blood tests, scans, medications, side effects, waiting for results. Before you know it, you're consumed and your calendar looks like cancer owns it. I've caught myself thinking, once we get through this appointment, once we know what the PSA is, once the treatment is finished, then I'll relax. But there's always another appointment, another blood test, another scan, or an unknown something. So I'm learning I can't wait until cancer is completely out of the picture before I allow myself to enjoy my life. There still needs to be dinner with Sue. There still needs to be laughter in my life. There still needs to be a beautiful morning where I drink my coffee and I don't think about a PSA number for 5 minutes. Cancer may get some squares on my calendar. It doesn't get to own the whole calendar. Now, before I go any further, I need to say something clearly. I've been thinking about the word survivor, and I understand why it means so much to so many. But I've also realized I don't just want to survive this. I want to live through this. There's a big difference. Thriving doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. And it doesn't mean I'm not scared or that treatment won't knock me down. To me, thriving means cancer doesn't get to decide whether I live today. Maybe I work. Maybe Sue and I go somewhere. Maybe I make a video. Maybe I need to rest. And maybe resting is thriving that day. The point isn't doing more. The point is being present for the life I still have. A phrase has been forming in my mind. Don't just survive the journey, thrive for life. When I say for life, I'm not talking about years. None of us knows that number. I'm not talking about how we choose to live the life we have for however long we're fortunate enough to have it. I don't want cancer to become the waiting room where I sit until my real life starts again. This is my real life right now at 60 years old. Starting another chapter of treatment. Still working, still dreaming, still loving Sue, still building something I believe matters, still laughing, still scared sometimes, still hopeful, still living. So here's the question I want to leave you with, and I'm asking myself the exact same question. What are you still saving for someday? Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's starting something you've wanted to start for years, but were too afraid. Maybe it's simply giving something of yourself or yourself permission to just simply enjoy the day. Tell me in the comments, and then ask yourself, does someday need to become sooner? And every Friday, join us for Pay Hope Forward Friday, where one small challenge and one yellow heart, one person who feels a little less alone, that's how hope spreads. And that's how we turn someday into today. Hey, if this is hitting home, please subscribe now so you don't miss an episode. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. My name is Mike Jones. This is Jonesing for the Journey. And so, the adventure continues.